Hey guys, it's Kezin with EQ Progression. We are back again with another video. This one's going to be about best in slot gear for bards in Planes of Power. Thanks Curio for allowing me to use your character for this. I appreciate it. If this ends up being helpful, please make sure to like the video and please subscribe as well. Before we get into the actual gear that you're going to be wearing, I want to talk about what the best instrument mods are in Planes of Power. There's 5 different types of instruments that you're going to be using. The first one is string instruments, and the best mod for that is Lute of Flowing Waters. This one is off of Grohin the Wise in Plane of Water. This is going to give you a 240% string mod on it. The next one we have is War Drums of the Wraith. This is a percussion mod. This is also 240%. This comes off of the Peregrine Rock Skull event in Plane of Earth. The next mod we have is the singing mod, and there's actually 2 items you're going to want for this. The first one is Songbite of the Eternal from Plane of Time and Interrupt. This will give you a 150% bonus to your singing skill. And Shadow Song Cloak is from Shay Venatris in Akiva Ruins, and this will actually give you like an AA clicky. You'll see here it says Harmonize. It will increase the effectiveness of your singing by 0.9%. And you can see here in the AA tab, there's a harmonize thing here. So it's like a permanent clicky, and this will increase your singing skill passively. So you want to get those 2 for singing. The next is we have a wind instrument. You don't really have to get this one. This one's from Plane of Torment from Salzik, the Flesh Grinder. Basically all you're going to be really using wind for is for invisibility. So for all practical purposes, you don't have to get this mod, but if you want to go for like the very best mod you can get this. And the last one we have here is Blaring Horn of Fire. This is going to be your brass mod. It gives you 250% to all your brass songs. So that pretty much covers all the best instruments that you can get. Some of the gear here you have, this will have mods on it as well, but it won't be as strong as these. But what the benefit of having the mods on the gear is you don't have to actually wear an instrument, and you can still have a lesser version of the mod, so you can pretty much use all your spells by default, which is a great improvement in Planes of Power. For the earring, you can actually really just go with whatever items you want. There are a lot of different earring options for bards. The best 2, if you're going by heroic stats, the best 2 that you can pick is Silver Hoop of Speed from Quorm and Zeering of Zothkar from the tier 3 golems. These both have heroic decks on them. The clicky from Silver Hoop of Speed isn't really necessary for bards since bards have overhaste already. And another option that's really good is Earring of Celestial Energy. This will give you a right click clicky to 20 all resist. It doesn't have any heroic stats on it, but you can really go with any earring you want from Plane of Time. There is no wrong option. Probably overall the best though are the ones with the heroic decks on it. So next we have the Helm. Helm of Flowing Time is going to be your best option. This is really the best, only helm you're going to get to choose from in Plane of Time. It just has the best stats. It has 40% haste on it, which is nice. It won't be your best haste item, but it does have the stat. Next is Mask. Now, Mask you have 2 options. The first one is Mask of Strategic Insight. This is going to give you 3 heroic decks. So if you want the heroic decks option, you can choose this. The second option is Visor of the Berserker, and this has Singing Renaissance 12. It's not quite as good as the mod that's on Songblade of the Eternal, but if you don't have this mod yet and you want to have a passive singing mod, Visor of the Berserker is what you're going to want to choose for the other masks. So either one of these, pick what works best for you. Next here we have the Breastplate. This is just your Plane of Time class quest breastplate. Has 5 heroic stamina on it. It also has a brass mod on it, which is really nice, so you get a passive brass mod here. And for arms, the only choice is Arm Guards of the Brute, and this is also going to be your favorite item. For the neck, we also have 2 options. We have Amulet of Crystal Dreams. This is going to give you a string mod on it, so if you don't have a passive string mod, this is a good choice. This isn't the best one, but what's nice about this necklace is it has 5 mana regen on it, and bards kind of lack mana regen in Planes of Power. That'll pick up in Eldon once they can get more Augs, but if you want to go to the mana regen route, you can get this. The other option is Necklace of Eternal Visions, and this is good if you want to go to Heroic Stamina and be a little bit more tanky. So for the Cloak, you have a ton of options. The first one we'll talk about is Shroud of Eternity. This will give you the most health. It also has 4 Heroic Stamina and 4 Heroic Strength, so in terms of overall stats, this is going to be the highest one. The second alternative to that is Platinum Cloak of War. This will give you 3 Heroic Agility and also has the highest AC. So if you want Agility, choose this. If you want Stamina, choose the Shroud of Eternity. Another option you can get here is Celestial Cloak, and this you want it for the clicky because it's going to give you +5 mana regen passively. So you can wear this as well if you don't have a better one, but this is really good for the passive mana regen. And lastly, we have Cape of Endless Torment. This is completely optional. This has 6 Flowing Thought, aka mana regen on it. So if you're lacking mana regen, you can pick up this one as well. And this one usually goes for a lot cheaper. So this is kind of a budget cloak, and if you want mana regen. So for the cloak, we have 2 options here. The best one is Court of Temporal Weavings. This is going to give you the most stats. It also has 45% haste, 35 attack, and the big thing here is the 7 agility, which is going to help both your defense and your offensive abilities. The backup to this is Girdle of Stability. This will give you 4 Heroic Stamina, and it also still has 30 attack on it. So this is pretty good too, and this one will probably be cheaper if you're in like a DKP system, so this is a good backup belt if you can't get Core Temporal Weavings. For the shoulders, there's 2 best options here as well. If you want to go the Heroic Dex route, you can get Mantle of Deadly Precision. This will give you 3 of Heroic Dex. And the other option here is Shroud of Provocation. This is more of like a quality of life item. I like to wear this personally because it has a wind mod on it, which will allow me to use my low level invisibility spell, and when I'm boxing I prefer using that spell over, say, like the Travel Song, for instance. So if you want quality of life, you can go with this, and if you want Heroic Dex, you can go with Mantle of Deadly Precision. For bracers, there's actually 3 options here. Earthen Bracer of Fortitude is going to give you a string mod on it, and also it has the best stats on it. It has 4 Heroic Stamina and good AC and health. It just has the most overall stats. The second one you can choose is Bracer of Precision. This will also give you 4 Heroic Stamina, which is why this bracer is nice. If you don't want to go with Bracer Precision and you would rather have some extra mana regen, you can go with Wristband of Echoed Thoughts. This will give you 5 mana regen. For the boots, we have Boots of Despair. These will give you 4 Heroic Stamina, and these are basically your only choice, and these are just really nice overall. And the same with the legs. These are your only choice here. These are Greaves of Furious Might. They'll also give you 4 Heroic Stamina, and both of these items have attack on it as well. For the gloves, the best gloves are Gloves of Airy Mist. These will give you 7 Heroic Agility. They also have 45 AC and 30 attack. They just have very, very good stats. Now, if you can't afford those, a good backup option is Gauntlets of Disruption. These are from Tier 2 in Plane of Time. These have 4 Heroic Agility on them still, and they still have, they actually have more AC than these other gloves, but there's only 4 Heroic Agility, so these are the budget option in comparison to these, but both of these are very good. For rings, you really can't go wrong. There's a lot of options. The best ones overall are probably these 3. The first one is Timestone Adorned Ring. This will give you 4 Heroic Agility, and also gives you a mana regen clicky that will proc a mana regen. I'm sorry, not mana regen, a mana drain. The next one is Band of Prismatic Focus. This will give you 3 Heroic Dex, so this is good for increasing your DPS. And the last one here is Prismatic Ring of Resistance. This will give you some Heroic Intellect, which will help your mana pool a little bit, also increase your spell shield. It also has a clicky on it that's going to increase your resist and your AC permanently. It's like an AA version clicky. So for weapons, the primary is going to be Songblade of the Eternal. This will give you a right click effect that will give your whole group haste for 15 minutes. So this is like a huge quality of life clicky here. It also has Singing Renaissance 15, so it's got the best singing mod up until this point in the game on it. It also has a good damage and delay, 22 damage, 20 delay. A good offhand is Edge of Eternity. It gives you 20 damage, 20 delay. And it also has a percussion mod on it as well. So for the range, the best item is Globe of Mystical Protection. It has 3 heroic agility on it and also has 3 mana regen. And I like this personally. I think this is the best because it has the mana regen on it, and Bard's it's kind of hard to come by mana regen in Plane of Time gear unless you are willing to sacrifice heroic stats for it. Another backup you can get is Symbol of the Plane Masters. This has 4 heroic stamina, and it also has a clicky on it though. It's like a stun direct damage clicky, which isn't that important for Bards. So I would recommend going with Global Mystical Protection overall. Another item you want to pick up though here is Eye of Dreams, and this will give you plus 400 to your mana pool. This was more important back before Fade got nerfed, and now that Fade is based on percentage of your mana, this is not as important anymore. But if you do want the increased mana here, you can get this item as well. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention is this also has a brass mod on it. So if you need a brass mod, Eye of Dreams is good for that as well. But just keep in mind, you're probably going to get a lot of competition on this because everyone can wear it and everybody wants more mana as well. One more ranged item I wanted to bring up was Tan Po's Mystical Pouch from Rallo Zek. This will summon these Shrunken of Eternities, and these are really good for pulling. So if you don't want to use any of those other items, or you have a macro where you can swap these in, these are like the best pulling item in the game for a long time. So I would recommend picking these up as well. Lastly, we have the Charm. This is what the stats are going to look like when it's maxed out. This is just the progression charm. It's going to have 20 AC, 90 HP, and 80 mana. So this is roughly what your stats are going to look like. This character is wearing 1 Eldon item, and since there's a lot of different options you can choose from, your stats are going to be identical, but they should be somewhere in the ballpark of this. You'll have around 9,200 health. If you have Eye of Dreams clicked, and you have that extra mana from it, you're going to have around 8,600 mana. Your heroic stamina is going to be around 25. Your heroic agility will be around 18, and your heroic dex will be around 12. Now, like I said, and the heroic stats in particular, yours might be different depending on what items you're using. But that pretty much covers everything. If this is helpful, please make sure to like the video, and also please subscribe. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.